Public Service Commissioner Anele Gxoyiya has issued a stern warning to the Health Department to pay up 73.7 million rand owed to service providers. Gxoyiya says all provinces apart from the Western Cape owe money to service providers with outstanding invoices running into millions of rands. Commissioner Gxoyiya joins me now. Very good afternoon to you, Commissioner. Thank you so much for your time. 73.7 million rand is a significant amount of money. I'd hate to imagine the impact on small business, on service providers. What did you find?
Yeah, no, thank you very much. Let me first greet the viewers of Newzroom Afrika. Indeed, the amounts of monies that are owed by the different government departments to service providers are huge, and they've got serious implications on the operation of those businesses, especially the SMMEs. And what we have realized was that most of the big businesses do get paid. And those that do not get paid, at least, is businesses that have got capital to be able to continue doing business, even if they are not paid. However, the SMMEs depend solely on what they get from government in terms of their procurement, and therefore it affects them negatively when they do not get paid. So our insistence is that they should be paid, invoices should be paid within 30 days from the receipt of such an invoice. And we are raising that because from the side of the Public Service Commission, that is exactly what we are doing. In fact, the maximum period that we have ever spent in paying our invoices is 14 days. So which means 30 days is realistic and it can be done.
And where do you find the root cause of the problem to be in terms of the processes and systems that are designed in the department to ensure that payment is really sufficient and up to date?
The cause is within the entire supply chain line, because you would find out that at times some of the officials at that lower level would receive an invoice. The one that is supposed to register an invoice and log it in the system for the processing, they keep it and they want to use that as a leverage to solicit money or to extort money from those business people, where they would call them at times, because some of the business people have told us that I was called by a particular official and this official says they have my invoice, they will fast track my invoice, but I need to pay an X amount of money. And those are some of the cases that we have been investigating. And moving up the line to the level of the senior managers as well, you would find out that when there is a fallout at a personal level with an owner of a particular company, then they decide to punish that person by not paying those invoices. And that also has got negative effects in terms of that.
So when it comes to some elements of corruption, how many or perhaps what scale are you looking at in terms of complaints that have been reported either about the department or government in its nature?
Look, there's been a slight decrease, but this decrease is insignificant because there are still high levels of corruption in the public service. So for us, we still encourage people to report these cases, and we have made an undertaking that we would follow up those cases, we'll investigate them, make our findings, and make the necessary recommendations. But the biggest challenge that we are having is at the level of the implementation of our recommendations by either the executive authorities or by the accounting officers, because in most instances they just don't implement our recommendations. And unfortunately, as things stand, we can't enforce the implementation of our recommendations. However, we are happy that there is a process of amending the Public Service Commission Act to ensure that it gives more teeth to the Public Service Commission so that we can be able to enforce our own recommendations.
What about the inhibitors and the enablers of job performances? What did you find in that space?
No, what we have done was that we have investigated with the different departments, sampled certain officials to check with them what are the possible factors that inhibit performance, and also what is it that needs to be done in order to enable them to perform better. And our findings in that regard have been such that in most instances, some of the officials do not get the necessary support from their supervisors to be able to perform their duties diligently. And that also discourages them, and it inhibits them. Also, the issue of skills development. In some areas, some of the officials do not have the necessary skills. Whilst they possess the qualifications, they don't have the skills to match those qualifications to be able to do the work. So that needs to be changed. We need a process of retraining these employees. We need a process of taking them through at the level of the workplace, orientate them well, make sure that they understand what is expected of them, and that will then enable them to perform and render the services as required.
Very well. Thank you so much. We're going to have to leave it there for now. Anele Gxoyiya, Commissioner for the Public Service Commission, speaking to us there.